in project planning, whatever topics we have discussed, do you remember? These are the topics we have discussed. Project planning, estimations, project scheduling, project staffing, project risk management, and software configuration management system. Got it? And in these topics, we have covered many of the points regarding all. What is project planning? How the project planning can be performed. In order to do project planning, whichever informations we need to collect for project planning, we need to collect these informations. Estimations, first of all, we have to do. Then we have to do project scheduling. Then we have to do project staffing. Then we have to do risk management. Then we have to do configuration management. And when all these actions are covered, then only your project planning will be performed. So in order to do project planning, the first topic is you have to know what is the requirement of doing project planning. As we know, plan provides the idea, the method of doing any work perfectly. So if you have a plan regarding doing of any activity, then it will be very well implemented for making your work successful. So the project planning is mandatory in order to convert the project into an effective project. So the planning will help to collect ideas regarding several activities to perform regarding the project to be developed successfully. Got it? So the need of project planning, you can look at here. When the project is in a desire by the developers to perform it successfully without any disturbance, then prior to the development work starts, they are doing planning. Got it? The aim of project planning is to enable a group of software developers to work efficiently towards the successful completion of the project. If the plan is prepared, then undoubtedly the activities those will be erroneously performed in order to complete the job successfully can be identified. Got it? The project planning is an organized and integrated management process in order to perform different software activities. Got it? So if you want to make this organized collection of activities in your hand perfectly, then you will do the project planning. Got it? If the plan is prepared, it will be also helpful for performing all the development team members' activities to be performed perfectly. What they have to do, what they don't have to do, what techniques they have to follow, in which manner they have to work, and to make a work successful, what other plannings they have to do. All these things can be identified by the team members in order to successfully complete the job. Got it? When the plan is prepared, it will make your work successful. Got it? If the project development team want to check for the schedule of activities, whether they are thinking is correct or not, it can be confirmed. Whether all the user requirements are notified and going to be executed or not, that also can be confirmed. Got it? And for developing the project, what are the constraints or the rules or regulations to be followed or the techniques to be applied also can be identified. So if the plan is prepared, then these objectives are going to be satisfied. When a project development work undergone, then it is the job of the project manager to perform the project development activities perfectly. And the project manager's role is to identify the activities of him and also his subordinate members, and also identify the requirements of the project development activities perfectly. And to do all its responsibilities very well, what are the qualities or his job list in order to make his work successful? We have already learned in this unit. The project manager performs its activities according to the plan, so it should have the quality to follow the plan, to match the schedule. It has the job responsibilities to appoint other project development team members very well and make them to do their works perfectly. Got it? He will do his work perfectly and make others to do their work perfectly. Got it? And the project manager's work is not only to identify the development process, but it has the responsibility from its starting level to ending level. Till then, different activities comes. You can think from a lower level job, that is doing the job responsibilities perfectly, to identify the thinking, thoughts, moral of others also. The manager's work is to manage others' activities. He should have the quality to identify what are their thoughts, to motivate them to change their thoughts according to the benefit of the software development process. So in order to do all that, the project manager plans his own set of way. So make his such activities performed in a well-defined manner. He have to be very responsible one. He should have what good qualities present among him. What are the responsibilities? You can have a view of it again. When the project development work is undergone, the project proposal is prepared first. How the project proposal will be perfectly written is the responsibility of the project manager. How to prepare the estimations very well is also the responsibility of the project manager. If the estimations are perfect, other planning activities will be also perfect. If estimations like size, cost, effort, and duration estimate is perfectly done, then other activities will be also perfect. Its responsibility is also to schedule the jobs to be executed perfectly in a well-planned manner. So the project scheduling is also one of its major responsibilities. Which work is to be done first, then which one next, like that. Then project staffing. Allocate the staffs as per their knowledge. Allocate the members to do the activities as per their expertise. That is the role of the project manager. Got it? Then software process tailoring. Which job activities are to be done one after another in a perfect schedule are tailored or noted down or pointed out by the project manager. Got it? Then when the project development process is started, then the monitoring of its activities are also one major responsibilities. That project monitoring work and controlling the project development activities is also highly important. And all this work is done by the project manager. Software configuration management is an important concept in order to make the planning and development process effective. So the software configuration management is also the responsibility of the project manager to prepare the plan properly and make other activities to be done perfectly. Then a risk management is an important factor where the project risks are calculated and handled. And the risk management is also the responsibility of the project manager. And interfacing with the clients is also important. Whenever a project is prepared, the clients are being checked whether the system is working perfectly or not. So in order to deal with the clients perfectly, project interface is required, project communication medium is required, project planning is prepared according to the client satisfaction. So interfacing with clients is also one of the major responsibilities of the project manager. Whenever different project development reports are prepared, the report should be written perfectly is also the responsibility of the manager. Otherwise, what plan is prepared, which next schedule of activities are to be performed cannot be identified. Then presentation of different identified factors are also important. If the presentation is good, then the teamwork will be perfect. The customer satisfaction can be achieved. So the responsibility of the project manager to prepare all the presentations very well and represent before others. Got it? So these topics we have discussed in this unit, and it is a very important factor in making the software development process effective. And when the project development work is performed, certain activities are executed for making the project development process successful. Those are classified into two categories. One is project planning, other is project monitoring and control. The project planning is to prepare the plan in a perfect manner. Whichever activities are to be conducted from the project development process starting to ending. And project monitoring is control is the activity that is followed during the planning process undergone and developmental processes undergone. When the project monitoring and control activities are going on, the each and every sub activities role, each and every sub activities outcomes are identified. Whether the outcomes are also notified in a perfect manner or not also can be controlled. Got it? Then the project planning is requiring estimating several project characteristics and the project activities to be managed very well according to the made estimates. In estimates, you are identifying the size for the project development to be required, the cost that need to be invested, the time that should be required for developing the system, and all these informations are followed in the project development activities to be conducted while the development process starts. Got it? According to that, the planning will be prepared. And the project monitoring is and control ensures that the project development process performed according to the respective plan prepared. Got it? Then your project planning also contains the project planning activities to be performed in a well-defined manner. For that, separate specific activities are conducted in a proper schedule. And in project planning activities, we have different actions like estimations to be done, cost, duration, effort estimations. And in activities, we have scheduling of the process development activities. When the scheduling is prepared, which activities are to be done after other, and what manpower requirement and resource requirement are going to be invested for that also can be identified. And when the scheduling is done, it will be also helpful for noting down what much of the job percentage is over and what much of the job percentage is left behind. Got it? In the next phase of project planning, project staffing is there. Project staffing plan is very important in order to specify which job will be done by whom to that person only, so that a particular job activity will be perfectly undergone and its outcome will be also perfect. So if the project staffing will be perfectly prepared, then your project development process will be also simplified. Got it? And in project planning activities, you have also risk management factors to be calculated. Whatever risks are going to occur and how those risks are going to affect and how those risks can be removed or abandoned, that process are identified. For those, the risk management plan is prepared. It is also a planning activity. Besides all these most important plans, some other plans are also to be managed. Quality assurance plan, configuration management plan, process tailoring plan, all those plans are also prepared. Got it? And these planning activities you can note down in a diagram like this. The size estimations, then it will lead to effort estimation to be done. Then the size estimation will make the duration estimate to find out according to the effort identified, according to the duration identified, the project staffing will be prepared. And the size estimation, effort estimation, all those will lead to the requirement of cost estimation. According to this, what will be the cost required for investment regarding the product development process. Got it? When all these informations are identified, the staff, the scheduling is prepared in order to arrange the activities very well and allocate their respective resources for performing the activities in a well-defined manner. And by looking at different planning activities, you can determine that the project size estimation is the fundamental parameter for making all other estimates to be done perfectly. Got it? When project size estimation is done properly, then other estimation will be also perfect and other development processes will be also well planned. Got it? So when the size is perfectly prepared, your all other respective estimations can also be perfect. And according to the planned informations, the SPMP document is prepared. Here, the SPMP document contains different points regarding to be noted down in the document as per the plan prepared for a respective project to develop. According to the requirements of the project, the SPMP documents that contains these informations to be carried out sequentially. Got it? And after the informations are written in a project development plan perfectly, the rest set of activities will start. When the plan is prepared perfectly, then it will lead to make that work effectively performed. So the first requirement is doing the size estimation. For doing size estimation, there are two factors we are calculating. One is identifying the lines of code and other is the function point metric to be used for size estimations. For project size estimations, you can know what is the size required for writing the source code. And for writing the source code, the size required you can note down in the lines of code technique. How many lines of code need to be written for executing a specific set of action can be calculated in the lines of code technique. But the lines of code technique may not be fully benefited in order to know the complete size requirement, because the total lines of code need to be written for writing a set of code can be exactly identified after writing the whole code. So at last it is better identified rather estimated at the beginning. So this problem can be removed in the function point metric, in which your lines of code drawbacks are suppressed, and by looking at different factors like the number of inputs to be used, the number of inquiries to be used, number of outputs to be received, number of logical files to be used for the system requirement, number of interfaces are used in support for making the work effective. According to that, the calculation is made to identify the unadjusted function point. Then further, the unadjusted function point is refined by these factors according to the inputs, outputs, inquiry, number of files required, number of interfaces required, basing upon the quality of the information. If the quality of information is simple, then the result will be different. If it is of average type, then the result will be different. If it is of complex nature, then the result will be different. If the inputs given are complex, outputs received are complex, and inquiry informations processed are complex, then also the result will be accordingly differed. So here we are refining the unadjusted function point by looking at these factors. After the unadjusted function point value became defined using these simple or average or complexity factors, the function point will be calculated by identifying the technical complexity factor or total complexity factor. By calculating the total complexity factor or technical complexity factor basing upon more 14 parameters. The 14 parameters may be like your high transaction rates, throughput rate, response time requirements, like that. Basing upon those, the technical complexity factor will be calculated, and those can be basing upon the degree of influence that may come to it. If a particular factor occurs, then what is its influence? Either influence will be 0 or 1 or 2 or 3 or up to 6. If the factor for a particular specific software is occurred, then its influence is not there, then the influence will be 0. If a particular factor's influence little higher, then it will be 1. If it is more higher, then it is true 2. If it is more higher, then it will be strong influence, or the influence will be 6. Accordingly, for each and every factor of software development process, whether the transaction rate is higher or lower, whether the throughput is lower or higher, according to that, the degree of influence of different factors are identified. Then all those will be computed using a formula, that is 0.65 plus 0.01 multiplied with degree of influence. Then after calculating TCF, it will be multiplied with UFP in order to calculate the FP. The function point metric is here calculated basing upon the unadjusted function point multiplied with the technical complexity factors. Got it? So FP is now calculated. Basing upon that, you can specify the function point value, that is going to specify the size requirement for the product. And the function point metric can be further refined by another point, that is feature point metric. It contains one more characteristics of identifying the size, that is noting down the algorithmic complexities of the algorithms used for writing code. according to the algorithmic complexities, the size factor will be increased or decreased. Basing upon that, the feature point metric can enhance the value of function point metric, which will be a more approximated value, estimated value, in order to reach at the project size. Got it? Basing upon that, your project size is estimated. Then you can go for project cost estimation. The project cost estimation is done according to the three basic factors, in which other factors are also calculated. These are called as the project estimation techniques, because these can combinedly calculate the size, effort, cost estimation requirements at some point. The estimation techniques you can categorize into three parts, like empirical estimation, heuristic estimation, and analytic estimation. Your estimations basing upon empirical will be based upon the knowledge, expertise, and the number of prior software developed by a particular set of developers. Basing upon those ideas, the estimations will be made. Previously, certain products have been developed. There, the size requirement is something, the cost requirement is something, the effort requirement is something. Accordingly, the new assignments, size, cost, and effort requirement will be something, is identified in the empirical estimation techniques. You can say it is basing upon the educated guess regarding the product development process. According to the past software products experiences, you can identify and note down the points. That may be highly implemented in some cases, or may be perfect in some cases, but may fail in some cases if it is a new concept to develop, if it is containing real-time systems to be developed, if the product is complex natured, then this type of educated guess may not be highly beneficial. Got it? And this type of educated guess can be again distributed into two parts, that is expert judgment technique or Delphi cost estimation technique. Got it? We have already discussed about these points. And in heuristic estimate techniques, you can go for knowing that the COCOMO model is used in order to make the heuristic techniques effective. And here the COCOMO is the constructive cost model, in which the cost is constructed basing upon different mathematical formulas. And the mathematical formulas implementation will highly estimate the product's cost. More nearer we can reach at the cost requirement. It will also give you the information of the time duration and effort duration. It will take the input as the size of the software product, and by looking at the size of the software product, it will estimate all other factors like your effort, time duration, and cost required for developing the product. And the cost can differ according to the type of software it is, according to the category of software it is. So basing upon the category of the software, the cost will be different. So the categories may be of organic type, semi-detached type, or embedded type. The categories will be organic, means it is a very simple product to develop. Application softwares, you can come under this category, you can think under this category, that are of organic type. Semi-detached type of softwares are little complex in nature. You can think the utility type of softwares that combine both of the softwares and hardwares together also at some regard, in order to make the hardwares effectively work with the systems. Also, you can use the semi-detached type of systems. You can categorize the utility type of softwares under this to consider. Yeah, the more high and sophisticated is your embedded type of software. The embedded type of software can be containing like your operating system type of software, real-time systems like that, in which there is a group of informations combined together, group of software systems combined together and make a work executed. So these type of softwares are little complex in nature and requires more cost to invest, more time to invest for that. And all these, basing upon the category of the software type, you can estimate the other estimations like your effort, time, and cost estimation, basing upon the COCOMO concepts. Here, the COCOMO can be calculated basing upon the three categories, that is basic COCOMO, intermediate COCOMO, and complete COCOMO. Basing upon these three factors, the COCOMO value will be identified. Got it? We have already discussed about this. What are the cost estimations basing upon the basic COCOMO? In basic COCOMO, we are taking use of the lines of code to be used for being executed, and basing upon the lines of code required for writing the product, that is your KLOC. Basing upon the KLOC and certain constant values, your effort will be calculated. KLOC will help to calculate the effort, and the effort identified will help to calculate the time requiring for developing the product. Got it? And the time of development will be calculated, then your cost will be calculated basing upon the person per month investment to be done for developing a product. Got it? The effort multiplied with the cost to be invested for every product, every software personal's investments, according to that your cost will be identified here. The basic COCOMO only identifies the values like this. We have already discussed one problem for identifying the project cost in this manner, and the basic COCOMO is not exactly identifying the value. You can go for intermediate COCOMO, in which certain more 15 parameters are considered besides the basic COCOMO estimations. Here, the more 14 factors are categorized into 4 parts, that is product, computer, personal, and development environment requirement. According to these 4 factors, the 15 factors are coming under that, and basing upon the 15 parameters, the size requirement, the effort requirement, the cost requirement can be added together, and the value will be more for that. This will be an exact estimation of the cost to be invested for a particular product development process. All right. By looking at the complete COCOMO, you can think about identifying the product's more nearer estimated value, in which larger products also can be handled, and the larger products are divided into smaller products, and the smaller products are individually, separately calculated about their values. What are those? What are the cost requirements, size requirements, effort requirements, and time duration requirement for it? And those can be combined together, and all at once, those can be implemented for notifying the total cost requirement for the product. Got it? And these are the different topics of Unit 2 we have previously covered, and today also we have revised all those points. Please go through all these points very well, and whatever points you have listened here, go through your notes provided to you, and so that your notes can be clearly understood to you. Got it? So please watch videos carefully, so that the doubts you have can be more rectified. Wait for the next revision video, in which the rest of the topics we will discuss regarding Unit 2. Thank you.